Hello everyone, welcome to MBA Karo. In this video, I'm going to solve SRCC GBO 2023 data interpretation session. So you will find out how one could use techniques to solve questions in an efficient manner. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media platform. Let's start with the first set. This was a caselet in which we were given that there are two companies A and B. The total number of employees is given. The ratio of the number of employees in A to B is given. And each employee works in only one of the departments P, Q, and R of the company. Okay. So there are three departments P, Q, and R in both the companies. And within that also you have male and female employees. So let us do one thing. Let's find out that PQR and the number of male and female in both the companies. So this is company A and this is company B. So based on the given conditions, we shall find the number of male and female employees. Okay, so here's the information which is given to us that total employees is 3600. Employees in A to B is 5 ratio 7. So 12 parts is 36. So that means one part is 3. So 1500 and 2100. So A, the total employees is 1500 and in B it is 2100. Now we shall find the number of male and female employees and then complete the table. So in company A, 60% of the total employees are males and the rest are females. So 60% means 900 and 600 female. And it is given that in company B, male to female ratio is 4 ratio 3. 4 ratio 3 means 7 part is 21. Okay. 7 is 21. So it is 12 and 9. So 1200 and 900. In company A, 30% of the total female employees work in department Q. So 600, 30%, 180, 20% of the remaining. Okay. Remaining means 420. So 20% of it is 84. They work in R. So 420 minus 84, you will get 336 work in P. Okay. So this is done. Out of the total male employees in company A, 40% work in department B. So 40% of 900 is 360. And the rest and 2/9 of the remaining. Remaining is 540. 9 parts 60 into 2, 120. 120 in Q. So 120 in Q. So R will be 420. Okay, so this is done. And in company B, one third of the male employees work in department R. So 1200, one third in R. So 400 in R. The number of male employees in P is 25% more than that working in department R. So this is 400, P will be 500 and then Q will be 300. Out of the female employees in company B, 60% work in department P. 60% is 540. The number of female employees working in company B working in department Q is 90 more than the number of female employees in R. Now this plus this is 360 and it is also given that Q minus R is 90. So we get 2Q is equal to 450. So Q will be 225, 135. So 225 and 135. So these are the numbers that we will get and you can total them if needed in a question. Okay. The difference between the number of female employees working in department R in company B, R and female 135 and the number of male employees working in department Q. Male in department Q is 120. So the difference is 15. Okay. So here's this is how to solve this caselet. putting ratios and percentages given on the base the given data, formulate the table, and then accordingly answer the questions. Next one, it says, so I've drawn this table which we calculated. This is company A, this is company B. Okay. The number of male employees working in department P in A is what percentage more than the number of female employees working in department Q in company B? P in A, Q in B, and this is talking about the female employees, right? So how much percent more? 360 minus 225, it is 135 by 225 and into 100. So these are multiples of 45, so 3 by 5. 3 by 5 means 60%. Okay. The total number of female employees working in departments P and R in company A. So female employees in P and R of company A. So adding this, we will get 420 is what percentage of the total number of male employees working in departments P and Q in company B. So P and Q in company B, male employees we need to add. So 420 by 800. So 420 by 8, 42 by 8 is 5 and 20 is 2.5. So 52.5%. So it was just about calculating these values, and then one could have answered all the questions based on the table that you got. The average number of male employees working in department R in both companies is X, and the average number of female employees working in department P in both the companies is Y. The values of X minus Y lies between. Okay. So X is the average number of male employees in these two companies. So 360, 580, that is 860. So you will get, sorry, this is in R, average in R, 420 and 400, 820, and the average is 410. Okay, X is 410. And female employees in P. So female employees in P is 876. Y will be 438. So X minus Y we need to find. So this is 410 minus 438. You will get it as 28. So 28 lies between 25 and 30. So that is the answer to it. Now this is the second set. The first set was calculation intensive, but yes, once all data is found out, you could have answered the remaining questions. Now this is a set based on double pie chart. The given pie chart show the distribution of students studying different disciplines in an institute in 2019 and 2021. The total number of students in 2021 is 20% more than in 2019, and we need to answer the questions based on it. Now, number of students studying commerce in 2019 is 225. So this is 225. Now, using this, one could have found out the total number of students. That is perfectly fine. But we will see that some of the questions could have been answered without even calculating the actual values. We can use just these percentages to answer the questions. So whenever we have a pie chart and the questions are based on ratios, percentages, ratios, or comparison. Okay. So all these things can be answered without even using the actual total. So let us see how can we answer this. Now we ask the question, the total number of students studying computer science and commerce in 2019. Computer science and commerce in 2019, that is 36%. In 2019 is 50% more than the number of students in 2021 studying what? Now 36% is 50% more than 50% more than 24. Okay, so that particular stream should have 24% here, but this is already increased by 20%. So you can divide by 1.2 because actual value is 1.2 times. So that means whatever is 20% here will be, or you can just take that way. Let us say this is 100 and this is 120. Okay, so this value is 36%. So 36% is 50% more than 24. So we need to look for value of 24 out of 120, which is 20%. So using that relation, we can just find out that 20% is management. So the answer is management. We do not need to calculate the total number of students. So this is what most people do not know while solving pie charts. The total number of students studying engineering and science in 2021 is approximately what percentage more than the total number of students studying management and arts in 2019. Now again, people what they do is they calculate the values separately. They will calculate the values and compare the two values and get the percentage. Now see how you can answer it without even calculating the total values. We just know that it is 20% increase. So engineering and science. Engineering is 25, science is 15, 40%. Okay, 40 we will multiply by 1.2. Why? Because there is an increase of 20% from this year to this year. Okay, is approximately what percentage more than total number of students studying management and arts in 2019? Management and art, that is 26. So what percent of, whenever we say what percent of, let's say if I say A is 30% more than B, and I say A is 130% of B. So that means the same thing. Okay. So it is asking what percent more, right? So we will not calculate what percent more. We will calculate what percent of and then subtract. We will subtract 100 from it, right? So it turns out to be 48 by 26, or you can say 24 by 13. So let's calculate 1. Then you are left with 11. So just divide 24 by 13. So we get 1, 11, 110, 8, 104, then we have 60, 84 point something. So we will subtract this one part because as I told you that if I say that I have to tell 30% more, if I calculate 130%, I know that we need to subtract that 100%. So 184 point some percentage. So it should be 84.6%. You do not need to calculate further. Like once you see this is 8, this is automatically going to be 6. 184.6. Subtract 100, you get 84.6. So this is a way to solve pie chart based questions. It becomes so easy to solve questions without even calculating the actual values. So very few people know it, and if you saw this for the very first time, it's great. Please do watch my videos for more such interesting techniques. The average number of students studying engineering, commerce, and arts in 2019 is what percentage less than the average number of students studying management, computer science, and science in 2021? Again, we should do the same thing. Okay, engineering, commerce, and arts in 2019. Engineering, commerce, and arts, which is 30, 45. So the value is 15. Okay, what percentage less than the average number of students? Management, computer science, science. Management, computer science, and science. So this turns out to be 35 and 53. Okay, so 53 divided by 3. This is the percentage. And we will multiply by 1.2. Why 1.2? Again, there is a 20% increase. So we shall get 0.4 times. So 53 into 0.4 is 21.2. Okay. Now it is saying what percentage less, right? So either you can subtract, you will get 6.2. This value is 21.2. This value is 15. And subtract 15, you get 6.2 upon 21.2. Now students leave this thing thinking कि यार ये calculation बहुत difficult हो जाएगा, right? 662 by 21.2, all the options are very close. Now let us see one important technique to do such calculations. Okay, so this is 62 by 212, right? Or I can write that 31 by 106, isn't it? I have to do 31 by 106. Now I know I can divide by 100. This is just 6% less. If I do 6% less, I will get this. What is 6% of 31? Around 1.8. Okay. So if I subtract 1.8, it will be slightly more than 1.8, or you just subtract 1.8. 31 minus 1.8 is 28, 29.2. So it will be roughly 29%. So you can calculate the exact value. Like you can just calculate with calculator, that is uh, 62 by 212. If I calculate, we get 29.24%. Okay, and we also got a value which is very close to 29%. So this is how you can calculate the values. So you can check with actual calculator by taking the actual values and see, and let me know in the comments that if you got 29.2% approximately. Okay, we got it by very smart approximations. Now if you know these techniques of solving questions, definitely you can beat most of the candidates in data interpretation. Next question. The ratio of male and female students studying computer science in 2019 is 3:4, and it is 7:5 for the students studying management in the same year. 30% of the students studying management in 2021 are females. The number of male students studying management in 2021 is what percentage less than the total number of females studying computer science and management in 2019? Okay, so that's what you need to calculate. Let's do the calculations. So we will assume the number to be 100 and 120 and go on solving it. 2019 is 3:4 male and female students in computer science. So this is 9 and 12. We are using males first and then females. Okay, and 7:5 for the management. So management is 16. We can take it 7:5, which is 12. So we can do it this way. In fractions, we can calculate and actually calculate the right answer with respect to this. So management, if we talk about 12 parts, 16 by 12, 4 by 3, that is 21 by 3, and 15 by 3. Okay, we split into 7:5. 12 parts are 16. One part is 16 by 12 or 4 by 3. Then we can multiply. Sorry, it will be not 21, it will be basically 28 by 3 and 20 by 3, because if you add, this turns out to be 16. Okay, so correction here. Now 30% of the students studying management in 2021 are females. Now the number is 24. Okay, and females are 7.2. So males will be 16.8. Okay, now the number of male students studying management in 2021, male in management in 2021, 16.8, is what percentage less than the total number of females studying computer science and management? So computer science and management. So computer science 12 and management is 20 by 3. Okay. So when we add 12 plus 20 by 3, now this is a question that one must skip in exam, because a lot of things have to be calculated in this. So this is 56 by 3 and this value is 16.8, right? It is saying that this 16.8 is what percentage less than 56 by 3. So 16.8 upon 56 by 3 will be 18.67. Okay. So now I need to find this percentage. Now what can be done is it can be made as what percentage less. So if you calculate the difference, it is 187, 18.7, isn't it? 18.7 upon 18.67, which is 10%. Okay, so the answer is going to be 10%. If you calculate the actual values, probably you could have done it faster because you would have got integer values in that case. But this is definitely a question worth skipping because it requires a lot of data to be calculated, and it is better to avoid such unnecessary calculations. Instead, you could have attempted some other questions in the exam. All right, so here is the next set. It says that in 2017, so this is given percent profit earned by companies A and B during 2015 to 20. So there are two companies A and B, and it shows the percent profit earned by these companies. And we need to answer the questions based on it. Okay. So it says, and percent profit is income minus expenditure upon expenditure. So it is calculated on expenditure, and profit is income minus expenditure. In 2017, the expenditure of company A was 250. So 2017, A is the blue one. It is 250 was the expenditure. And in 2019, the income of company B was 350. So this is expenditure. And 19, the income is 350. What was the ratio of income of company A in 2017? This is, we need to find its income and to the expenditure of company B in 2019. We need to find its expenditure. Okay. Now we are given that profit is income minus expenditure by expenditure. So it is a percentage of expenditure. Okay. So if I say that 45% profit, so 45% profit means I is, if P is 45%, that means income will be 145% of expenditure, isn't it? So if we say 30% profit, so 30% profit means that income is 130% of expenditure. That's how you read the graph. Okay, because 30% profit in expenditure का 30% extra होना चाहिए, 30% extra, so expenditure is suppose 100, so income should be 130, right? So we can find the relation of income. Now, what we need to find? Income of A in 2017 to the expenditure of B in 2019. IA expenditure of B in 2017 and 2019. That is the ratio that we need to find. A, the expenditure is given as 250. Okay. 250 is what percentage? 145 percentage. So expenditure is like expenditure is given, income will be 145 percentage of it. Okay. This is the expenditure, income we can find out. This income is 350, right? Expenditure will be upon 130. Okay, because expenditure income is more than expenditure. So divide by 130. Basically 1.3 it should be, so we can take it like this, right? And let's now do the calculation. So since this is percentages, we'll have to write 1.45 and 1.3. So this turns out to be 5 ratio 7, and when we do the calculations, we shall multiply by 5, and this will further be multiplied by, so it should be a expenditure is given. We need to find the expenditure. Sorry, expenditure is already given, right? So why are we calculating this? It is income of A and expenditure of, so this would be 1.3 times expenditure is income of expenditure is given as, income of A is 250, expenditure is 250, so income will be more, that is 1.45 times and then it turns out to be 350. So there is a we just check the graph again. Income of A, sorry, this is B. B is this one. So made the mistake. So this income is 350. Okay. So expenditure will be upon 1.4. So let's just do it again. 250 is the expenditure, so income is going to be 1.45 times. Okay, and expenditure of B is 350 divided by 1.4 times. Okay, so 1.4 times will again give us this will give us 250 into 1.45, and this will be 250 itself. So 1.45, which is 29 ratio 20. So this reading was incorrect in this. The answer will be 29 by 20. The income of company B in 2016 was 420 crores, then its profit in that year was. So income is 420 crores, B in 2016. So we'll look the graph carefully. 2016, B is the 400. So 400, 140% is 420. Okay. So that means 40% is the profit. 40% will be 120 crores. If the expenditure of company B in 2018 is 300 crores, company B in 2018, so this is 45% and this is expenditure is 300. So we can find the profit, the income and profit, and the income of company A in 2015. A is the blue one, 2015. The income is 390 crores. Okay, by what percentage was the profit of company B in 2018 more than that of company A in 2015? So income is 390, 30% profit. That means expenditure is going to be 300 and profit is 90. Okay, and this expenditure is 300, so profit is 45%. That is going to be 135. Okay, so it is saying that profit of company B in 2018, 135 is 135 by 90 is 150%. Okay, or 50% more. This is a straightforward question based on, you just need to understand that what is the ratio given in the graphs, right? So it is about expenditure. With respect to expenditure, you need to find uh, the profits and income. In 2020, if the total income of companies A and B was 534 crores and their expenditures were in the ratio 1:2, what was the total expenditure of the companies in that year? Okay, so it says that 135 and 35% and 55%. Okay, so let us say A and B expenditure, income, profit. So expenditure 1:2. So let us say 100x and 200x. Right. So income will be A is the blue one, which is 35%. So 135x, and this is going to be 55. So 310x. Okay. And this is given as 445x is 534. Okay, so 89 more, that is 0.2 times. So x is 1.2. Okay. And the total expenditure of the companies in that year. So this is 360x. So 360x is going to be 534 into 360 by 445. Okay, so this is 1.2. That will be 432. Sorry, this is 300x, not 360. So 300x is going to be 360 crores. Okay, so this is how we calculate it. The next set, which is again a caselet, It says in a college there are 2400 students who enrolled in any course of the five branches A, B, C, D, E, and ratio of boys and girls is given. Okay, so we will find A, B, C, D, E, the number of boys and girls in these branches. Okay, so it is similar to the first set that we did. Now 2400 students, the ratio of boys to girls is 7 ratio 5. So 1400 boys and 1000 girls. So total we have 2400 students. 15% of the boys and 22% of the girls are enrolled in A. 15% of this is 210, 22% is 220. Okay. 2/7 of the number of boys are enrolled in B. 2 by 7. So 1 by 7 is 200, 400. A total of 500 boys are enrolled in D and E, and the ratio of number of boys in D and E is 2 ratio 3. So 200 and 300. The remaining boys are enrolled in C. Okay, this was an easy one, should have been done. 6, 9, right? 500 remain. 500 minus 210, 290 will be the number of boys here. So boys are done. Girls, 26% are enrolled in D. So 26 means 260. 120 in B, and the number of girls enrolled in C is 100 more than girls in E. So this is 340, 600. Okay, so C plus E 400 and C minus E is 100, 250 and 150. So this gives the number of all boys and girls in all the branches. So this was an easy set and should have been done. Text is also less. Now let us see uh, the questions and answer them. What is the difference between the number of boys enrolled in C and the number of girls enrolled in E? Boys in C, girls in E. So the difference is 140. The total number of girls enrolled in B and E is what percentage less than the total number of boys enrolled in A and C? Girls enrolled in B and E, 270, is what percent less than total number of boys in A and C? A and C, the total number of boys is 500. Okay, so 500 means 230 less, which is 46%. Okay, so if we subtract this from 500, 230, which is 46% less. So simple calculations again. The total number of boys and girls enrolled in D, that is 460, is what percentage of the total number of girls enrolled in A, C, and E? A, C, and E. It's 400 and 220, 620. So 460 upon 620. Okay. Again, we can do some simple calculations to get the answer. Approximate it to 600 because we can easily divide by 6. Now it is roughly 3% less, isn't it? 3% of uh, like 620, 6 into 3 is 18, right? So slightly more than 3%. Take 3% less of this. 4 into 5 into 6, we can take 15, right? Closely, roughly 3%. So that is 445. So 445 by 6. If you do, we get 7 is 42. Then we have 25. So 74.2. So somewhere around 74.2. So that will be our answer. So this is how we can approximate the numbers, right? Approximating the fractions and calculating the percentages. The difference between the total number of boys enrolled in B and C and the total number of girls enrolled in A and D is X. B and C boys, that is 690, and girls in A and D, that is 340. So X is 350 The total number of boys and girls enrolled in E is Y. 350 is what percentage less than Y? I'll just look some other number and see that there's difference between the total number of boys enrolled in B and C. Sorry, A and D we need to calculate. A and D is 480. Boys in B and C, which is 690, and girls in A and D is 480, which is 210. So it is saying 210 is what percentage less than Y. Okay, so 210, 450 minus 210 by 450 is 240 by 450. And we need to convert into percentages. So this is 50 into 2, 50 into 9. So 480 by 9, or we can further reduce it to 3, 160 by 3. 160 by 3 is 53.33 percentage. Now this is one set that one must have attempted in the examination. Then here's the next one. It says that the table shows the production of food grains A, B, C and their export as a percentage of production. So this is the total production and export as a percent. Like this is 320. So 35% of 320. Okay. 24% of 250. So like this, the production and export is given. Right, from 2015 to 19, and we need to answer the questions based on it. Production is domestic consumption plus export. So if something is not exported, or you can say that 65 35 is export, so 65 is domestic. This is domestic consumption. Right. What is the ratio of total export of food grain A in 2015, 16 and 19 to the total export of food grain B in 2016 to 19? Okay. So A in 2015, 16, 19 and B export of B in 2016 to 19. Okay. Now this is again, as by looking at the question itself, you know that it is going to be a time consuming stuff. So ideally something to be skipped in the exam. Okay. So we will calculate these values for now. 320 ka 35%. So 32 into 35 we need to do, right? So see, this is 320 into 35. So you can say 32 into 3.5, because when you take the 100, you will be removing two zeros, right? So here is only one zero. So 32 into 3.5 can be done as 16 into 7, which is 112. Okay, so this value is 112. 30 into 35 is 105. 34 into 45. So 45 into 34 karna, let's say we can do it as 90. Like we can, since it is 4.5 into 4.5 into 3.4. So 9, and 34 into 2 is, see, if we're doing 2, this is half. So 17 into 9, you get 153. So this total turns out to be 217,370. Now, as a smart student, you should calculate only this value and mark the answer as 37 ratio 38. Why I'm telling that you should mark this? Because 370 total is correct. So if it is 370, it has to be a multiple of one of these numbers. So 39 does not divide 370. This does not divide 370. 18 does not divide 370. Only 37 will divide it. So you want to calculate this? Let's do the calculation of this thing also. 42 into 2 is 84. 35 into 34, again we can do is 35 into 34 karna. 3 point, we can take double of it and half of it. We get 119. 3 into 3 is 96 and 3 into 27, 81. Adding this, we will get 200 and 180, 380. So calculating only one value was required to answer this question. So this is about some smart calculation techniques. The average production of food grain B in 2016, 17 and 18 is approximately. Now this is just about production. So you can probably solve this 16, 17, 18. Okay. is approximately what percentage of total domestic consumption of C in 2015 and 19. Okay, so this is 550 and 870. So average will be, if you add these three, you will get 870. Divided by 3, you will get 290. Okay, so the value is 290. And what percentage of total domestic consumption of C in 2015 and 19? Okay, 2015, C 70% is the domestic consumption. 35 into 7, that will be 245. And 2019, this is 325 and 60%. Okay, so 325, 60%, that will come as 195. So some calculation is required here. And when you add, you will get 440. So we need to tell 29 by 44 in terms of percentages. Now again, this can be done in some way, like the technique which I've been discussing. So probably you can use that, or we shall be able to reduce also, because it's a multiple of 4. So we will get 25 by 11. So we can get 825 by 11. Why are we getting, sorry, 725 by 11. 11 into 6, 66, 65. 65 point. So it will be close to 66%. Okay, should be close to 66% if you check the percentage. Okay, maybe I made some. This is 290. 290 by 440. 444 into 6 is 264, and 26.4, 290.4. So yeah, this should be the value, 66%. Most closest value we will pick. Okay, so this is roughly 66. The total export of food grain A in 2017 and 18. So total export of A in 2017-18 is what percentage less than the total domestic, sorry, this is export, is what less than the total domestic consumption of B in 2017 and 19. 17 and 19, the domestic consumption, that is 76 and 60. So again, calculation, sorry, this is of B, so 66 and 73. So we need to calculate these. 30 into 40, 120, and 2018 it is 45 into 400, 180. This comes out to be 300, and 35 into 350 into 66. So 3.5 into 66 needs to be done. You can do it 7 into 33. 3 into 7 is 1. 2 carries 31, and this is 73 into 3. It's 219. So we will get 450. If you add these two values, the value total will be 450. So it is what percentage less? It is 150 less. 150 by 450 is 1/3, or 33.33%. If in 2020 the production of food grain A increased over 2019 by the same percentage as in 2019 over 2018. Okay. So by the same percentage, which is 12.5 percentage. Okay. And the production of food grain C in 2020 increased by 35% over 2019. So it is 35% increase. Okay. And if the export of both food grains was 40% of their respective production in 2020, so the export is 40%. What was the total domestic consumption of these two food grains in that year? So domestic consumption is 60%. Okay, so we need to increase this by 12.5% and this increase by 35% and then find 60% of it. Okay, so 450 into 12.5%, 9 by 8 plus into 1.35 we'll have to calculate and then find zero point 0.6 times of it because 60%. So this is 225 into 9 by 4. So 1800 and 225, 2025 by 4 plus, so 2025 by 4 is give us 5, 6.25 and this is 135 into 5, or what we can do is, see, we have to do 325 by 135. So 4 times, again this will have to divide by 4, so not a good thing to do. So let's just multiply. 135 into 5 will be 675, 67 carries, 270, 337, 33 carries, 405, 438. Okay, so this will be the total value. This will give us ending in 0. So this gives us, and this is 945. So 945, 945 ka 60% or 3 by 5. 18, 189, 189 into 3 will be 570 से 3 minus कर दो 567. So too much calculation involved in this. Okay, ideally a person should have skipped this particular question, right? So it is not worth attempting such a question if you get it in the exam. However, this is the solution which is going to be. So if I would attempt encounter such a question, I would directly skip it. Now here's the next one, and it talks about again a pie chart. So one of the favorites, as I told you, for pie chart can be done quite fast. Okay, so here's the question. It says that you are given that the distribution of IT employees who were enrolled for the certification exam and the employees out of those enrolled who passed the certification exam from different centers. So these are the employees enrolled and these are the ones who passed. What percentage of the employees passed the certification examination from centers E, F, and G out of the total number of employees enrolled from the same center? Okay. Now, this is an ambiguous question, or will assume that total, will find the total of these. Acha, EFG, so we can find the total of these and divide by this. So EFG, it is this percentage, and EFG, it is this percentage. So pass, we need to find pass upon enrolled. So 37 into, this is 27 plus 9, 36. So 36 and total enrolled is, this is 16, 28, 30. 30% of 23550. So 3 into 2355 and we need to find the percentage. Okay, so we can divide this 12 and let's see if this is divisible by 37. 37 into 6, so it does not appear to be divisible. So 37 into 12 is 444 by 2355. This looks, EFNG 36. Sorry, this is also 36 we took. No. So this is 36% of 3700, and this is 36% of 3700. So the total percentage is 36 only. 28 plus 8, 36, and this is also 36. So 36 cancels out. So we need to find 3700 upon this as a percentage. So 3700 upon 23550. Okay, so we basically need 370 by 2355. Now, instead of doing the division, we shall use the method which I told you, increasing by the same percentage. So I can divide by 24 better. So let's make it 2400. Okay. We increase by 2% because it becomes 40, almost 45, right? Which is almost 2%. So if we increase this by 2%, this is 7. So 377 by 24. So I will divide 377 by 24. 1, 5. This is 17, 170, 15.7%. Okay, once again, if you do, because there are two options which are close. Okay, so 168, if we divide, we'll get 2, 0. So this is 0, and 200 will give us 8. So roughly 15.71%. So although this question was easy, but the questions options were close. So calculation, one had to be very fine with it. Find the difference between the number of employees enrolled from centers E and C together and the number of employees who passed from centers D and A together. So enrolled from E and C it is 22% and pass from D and A. So we'll have to do these calculations. Enrolled is 22%. So 2355 into 22. Okay. And of course by 100. So 50. This you divide by 50. So you get 4711. Okay. So 4711 you will get 471 rather 50 से divide करोगे 0 gets cancelled 47 is 235 471 and this is 11 471 into 11 that will be 11 1 carries 77 78 and 7 carries 51 5181 and we need to find 34% of 37 37 into 34 enrolled from E and we made a mistake here. I took C and it is C and E. Sorry, 18 hoga. So 18 will mean we need to multiply by 9. So this is 9 and 47 into 9 is 423. So 4239 because it is C and E 18% and this is 34%. So 37 into 34. 34 into 7 is 37 into 4 is 148. 14 carries 111 125. Okay, so this will be 81 and 29. So 2981. Again, the question is easy but calculation intensive. Which of the following centers has the highest percentage of the employees passed out to the employees enrolled? So ECFB are given to us. So EFBC. EFBC. So if we see some particular category that has high percentage of pass, so we need to say highest percentage of passed. Okay. So if this percentage with respect to this is high, so that means that value will be the answer. So B is 17 by 13. Okay. 17 by 16. C is 13 by 10. E is 9 by 8 and F is 15 by 12. So out of these, this is 1.3 times, this is 1.25. So C is the highest. Okay, you do not need to calculate the values, just calculate the ratios which has the highest. So this was an easy question out of the questions of this set. What is the ratio of the number of employees enrolled from centers A and E together to the number of employees passed from centers A and G together? A and E 30 into 23550 ratio pass from A and G. A and G, that is 30 of, again we need to do this thing again, 3700. Let me check that if I'm doing the right thing. 22 plus 8 is 30 and 12 plus 18 is 30 again. Okay, so it did the right calculation. So 30 gets cancelled out, so we have these values. Yeah, so dividing by 5, we get 471 and this is 74. Okay, now one could have used this, that total is 3700. So one could have answered this question without doing the calculation. Very likelihood that this would have been the answer. Okay, so that is this set. Two of the questions doable, two of them were difficult. So judiciously, one must attempt questions in such sets. Okay, so here's the next one. This particular set had very long questions, and uh, one should have ideally skipped them in the examination. So this gives the product list price, product net price, and 2020 list price ABC by category. Okay, so list price has been categorized in these four categories for 2020. So it says for the period 2013 to 20, if X is the numerical value of the percentage increase decrease in the average value of the product list price in the first 4 years. So list price is this. So as compared to the average value of the product list price in the last 4 years. So the product list price average is what? 9 plus 15, 24. 24 by 4 is 6, right? And this is 14. 14 plus 18, 32. 32 by 4 is 8. So X is the percentage increase or decrease. So what is the percentage increase? 33.33%. Okay. So X is equal to 33.33. And why is the numerical value of the percentage increase decrease in the average value of the product's net price? So it is about the net price. So 7 plus 12 19. Okay, and 19 by 4, and this is 9 plus 11, 9 plus 13 22 by 4. Okay, so increases of 3 by 4 out of 19. Okay, so increases 3 by 19 as, so y is equal to 300 by 19 because it is in percentage terms. 3 by 19 is the increase, and if you multiply by 100 to get percentage, this is the value. So we need to find under root of 3x plus 19y. Difficult to understand, so better skip such questions. Too lengthy text here. So this is 100 and this is 300. So total is 400. If you take the root, you will get 20 as the answer. But definitely not worth attempting in the examination. So this entire set was something that one should have skipped in the exam. If the ratio of the sum of products net prices in 2015, 16 and 17 to products list price in 2017 is this, you need to find the value of P. Okay. Now in this case, I would suggest that how should have one approach the question using options. Okay, definitely I would never attempt such a set, but this question I could have done by options. How? Now if you see this, 1 upon P, 1 upon P square, okay, and 5 plus this. So if we see, and what we see the number here as 75, right? Now if I just, like, I will not calculate these, just put 75 and see what could be P and P square, right? So P is 3, so P square will be 9, 16, 25 and 36. 75 किससे कट हो सकता है? 25 से कट हो सकता है. Let us put P is equal to 5 and see what do we get. So we will get 5 plus 1 upon 5 plus 1 upon 25 into 75 by 131. Okay, so just putting the values. So this will be 5 into Denominator will be 25. 5 into 25, 125 plus 5 plus 1, 131. So you will get this value. If you put p is equal to this, we will get this expression, right? And this is 15. I mean, you will get an integer value. For others, you will not get integer values. So by using options, one could have answered that the answer is 5 and just moved on. Okay, so these are called bonus questions. Then it is advantageous to use options and be smart in answering the question. So you get benefit in such questions by using your smartness. Which of the following statements is or are true based on the data in the given graph and chart? So we need to tell the true statements out of the given ones. So it says the list price of routers in 2020, list price of routers in 2020. So and product list prices is 10 billion. Okay, so this is 4 billion. Exceeded the total products list price in 2013. Okay, list price in 2013 was 3 billion. So this is exceeding. So first one is true. The net price for the year in which the net price was the greatest. So net price was the greatest here. Was more than the list price for the year in which the list price was the lowest. Okay. List price is in billions. Okay. So it is greater than this is in $1 billion. Okay. So list price is lowest is here is 3 billion. This is 8 billion. So it says that the net price was more than. So that is true. This is more than this price. If in 2020 the list price of routers had been 10% less. Okay, so list price of routers was uh, here is 10 billion, it is 4 billion. So it were 3.6 billion. And the list price of switches had been 10% greater. So switch is 20%, which is 2. So it becomes 2.2. The list price of routers would have been less than the list price of switches, which is not true. Okay, list price of routers will again be more only. Okay, so this is false. So anyway, you do not need this thing. So if this is 440, if you decrease by 10%, this has become 36. This becomes 22. So it is again greater only. It is not less. This is false. So both A and B are true. So one could have attempted this question and the previous question using options. If X is the average of the product's net prices of ABC Private Limited for the year 2013 to 20. Okay, so net prices का average मांग रहे हैं. So 2, 5, 7, 14, 19, 22, 28, 33, 41. 41,000 by 8 is 5125. Okay. Then calculate the difference between the average of the product's net price greater than X and the average of the product net price less than X for the period 2013 to 20. Now this seems to be a slightly ambiguous question. So we have to formulate two categories, greater than this and less than this. Okay. So this is less, 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 and these are greater, greater, greater. So greater का average कितना आ जाएगा 7, 6, 8, that is 21. So greater average will be 7,000. Okay, and less is 2 plus 5 is 7, 12, 15 and 20. 20 by 5, 4,000. The difference is $3,000 million. This was again a slightly doable question, and previous one was statement based. First question was something should have been skipped. Okay, so here's the next question. Now let's move to the next set, which is basically showing the performance of students of schools A, B, C, D, F in a board exam. Right, so there are 6 students, and we need to tell things appeared, passed, and passed with distinction. Okay, so it says in which of the following pairs of schools is the percentage of students who passed without distinction, right, and appeared the same. So passed without distinction. So people will appear, some will pass, and Rest pass minus passed with distinction gives passed without distinction. Okay, so passed without distinction. So we need to find for these people A, F, B, C, D. So I think we will have to find for all. So this is 340. This is 490. This should be 470, 340, and this is 420 and 550. It says the percentage of students who pass without distinction to those appeared in the examination same. So 340 by 800. This we need to divide by this. 490 by 1050. 470 by 1200. This by this. 420 by 900 and 550 by 1500. Okay. So it says that which of these is same. Mm, let's see that how we can A and F. If we see this is 340 by 800, 550 by 1500, and 34 by 8, 550 by 1500. Are they equal? 34 into 15, 55 into 8, not equal. Okay, so just do the cross multiplication and check. They are not equal. Okay, so A and F are not equal. B and C, B is 490 by 1050 and C is 47 by 120. So that is definitely not equal because C is definitely less, right? Less people are passing. B and E. So B is this, E is 42 by 900. So 42 by 90, 420 by 900. Now this looks interesting to me because if we multiply these, we may probably be getting the same values. So 49 by 9 and 42 by 105. This is equal, I guess. So 7 by 6 and 6 by 7. Yes, so this is equal. And so if you observe the values, you will find that this is equal. You do not need to find the percentages though, but you will get that these values are equal. In which of the following schools is the number of students who passed with distinction as a percentage of students who failed the least? Okay, passed with distinction to least, FCBE, pass with the distinction. So pass with distinction and failed should be least. Okay, so failed here will be 210. This is pass with distinction, so we can find the values. This is 280 and this is 150. This is 500. Right? It looks that uh, like the values look clearly high for, we need to find this least, right? So least means pass with distinction upon fail should be least. So if fail is very high, let's say 500, and if in these cases it is more than 100%, right? Passed with distinction. So this is more than 100, 260, 330 by 150 more than 100. This is less than 100. So clearly it is the least in F. So easy one. Do not have to calculate the percentage, just see it. The average number of students per school who failed in A, B, C, and E. A, B, C, E. Average number of students who failed. So this is 160, 210, 280, and this is 150. We need to find its average. Is approximately what percentage less than the number of students who passed without distinction in school D. Okay, so average we need to find. This is 363, 360 plus 160, 520, and 520 plus 280, 800. So average is 200. Okay, is what percentage less than passed without distinction in school D? Passed without distinction is 340. Okay, so what percent less? So 140 by 340. That would be the answer. So 14 by 34, that is 7 by 17. 68 gives us 220. So 41% would be the answer to this question. Okay, so this set in fact was an easy one because direct values were given. You can easily do the calculations, and one should have attempted this one instead of other heavy calculation based ones. The ratio of boys and girls who pass from school B is 3:4 and it is 11:12 for students who pass from school C. So B and C. The total number of students who pass with distinction from D, E, F is what percentage more than the total number of boys who pass from schools B and C. Okay, so first we'll have to split the number of boys and girls. So 3:4 and this is 11:12. 7 parts is 840. So 3 part will be 210. 23 parts is 920. So 40, one part, this is 440. So it is saying that total number of boys. So this will be 650. Okay. And what we need to find, that total number of students who passed with distinction from D, E and F. Passed with distinction is this. So 450, 780 and 260, which is 1040. Okay. So 1040 and sorry, ये हमने कैलकुलेशन सही की है 3840 नहीं 210 नहीं आएगा 7 parts is 840 one part will be sorry 360 3 parts will be 360 I'm just checking it 7 parts हैं 840 so one part is 120 and 1 into 3 this is 40 40 into 11 40. This is 800 800 and 1040 so 240 more out of 800 which is 30%. Okay, so this particular set was comparatively easy than most of the other sets which were present in this. Okay, all right, so here's the next one. Now this says that the table shows the number of seats reserved in different classes in a train on 6 days of a week. Okay, so there are different classes and you need to tell the like these are the number of seats available is given in brackets. So this is the number of seats available. Okay, this is the number of seats reserved. All right, and then if the data related to vacant seats will be available. Vacant is available minus reserved. Okay, that is some common sense you need to apply. Data related to vacant seats for AC 2 tier on the given six is represented by a pie chart. Okay, and difference between the central angles on Thursday and Monday. Okay, so too much of calculation involved. Let's do it. 105. This is 60. This is 125. This is 140. This is 130. This is 70. Okay, so let's add the total. Total is 200. 200 plus 200, 400. 400 plus uh, 400 plus 230, 630 is the total. Okay, 630 is the total. We need to find Monday and Thursday ka difference. So Thursday it is 440, Monday it is 105. So the difference is 35. So we need to find this angle and we need to multiply by 360 to get the angle. Okay. So 35 and 63 are divisible by 7. Okay, which gives us 7 into 5 is 35 and 7 into 9 is this. So 5 into 4 you will get 20 degrees. Okay, so bit of calculation involved in this particular set. So one should have ideally skipped this particular set. The total vacant seats in all the given five classes on Wednesday is what percentage less than the total vacant seats in second class non-AC on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday? Okay, so again, by this, looking at this, that it is too much calculation involved. Total vacant seats on Wednesday. Let's do this. This is 60. This is 120. This is 140. If you have very good calculation speed like I have, then you should attempt such questions. Otherwise, skip this. 125 plus 35, 160, 300, 300 plus 180, 480. Okay, so I've been solving so many questions and then still managing the speed. So if you have this level of speed, then only you should attempt such lengthy questions. What percentage less than the total vacant seats in second class non-AC? Second class non-AC on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. We need to calculate this. So this is 210, 180, and this is 150. So totaling it, this we will get 540. Okay, so 540, it says that what percentage less? How much less? 60 less. 60 by 540 is 1 by 9. 1 by 9 is 11.1%. Okay, so doable question, but too much of calculation involved, like addition, subtraction, and then addition, and then finding the percentage. Next question, the total vacant seats in AC first class on all given 6 days. AC first class on all 6 days is what percentage of the average number of reserved seats? So we have to find the, this is vacant ka average and reserved seats in second class non-AC. Second class non-AC on Wednesday and Saturday. Wednesday and Saturday. मैं इसका average लेना है और निकालना है. So average is 800 of this. ठीक है, percent, this average is 800. We can easily see total vacant seats, right? We do not have to find the average, we have to find the total in this. So this total is what percentage of 800? 50, 30, 35, 25, 20, and this is 12. Add कर लेते हैं, this is 80. 80 plus 20 is 100. 160, and this is 172. 172 by 800. So this is 20. You can divide by 4. This gives us 2 and 43. 43 by 2 is 21.5%. Okay, so again, heavy on calculations, and although not very complicated ones, but yes, you do have to add a lot of values. The difference between the total vacant seats in all five classes on Thursday, total vacant seats on Thursday, and the total vacant seats in AC3 tier on all the given 6 days. So first of all, let us find all total vacant seats in all five classes on Thursday. Thursday means total vacant seats निकालना है. This is 100, this is 40, this is 80, this is 140, this is 25. Okay, so we get total as 140, 220, 360 plus 25, 385. So this value is 385. Total vacant seats in AC3 tier on all given 6 days. AC3 tier on all given 6 days. This is 160, 90, 140. This is 150 and 120. Again, add कर लेते हैं 250. Let's see 250. 250 plus 150, 400. 400 plus 200, 600, and 740. This is 740. So the difference comes out to be 355. Okay, is approximately what percent of the total reserved seats in the non-AC classes on Thursday and Saturday. Non-AC Thursday and Saturday. So this should be the total 1560, because non-AC classes are these ones. So reserved seats in the non-AC classes. So we will get 1560 plus 680, 225, 2240. Okay, so this should be the value. Okay, and we need to find this percentage, right? So if we calculate this, again what I'll do is I'll take 2200 and make it 2% less, and 2% I will reduce from this, so which is 7348. 22 say 348, we can say 11 say 174, 15 165 9, 15.8, somewhere giving 15.8. So probably this could be the answer, since this is an approximation question. So probably this could have been the answer. Now this is definitely not worth doing, because you have to add this and this and this and this, too many additions involved. In some of the ones like previous one, this was doable because average तो दो ही value का है और ये सारे add करने थे. Okay, this was again not a good idea because you had to add so many values. This was a doable one. So one question should have done. Okay, this question should have skipped. This question would have done, and this skipped. So it is about selective attempting the paper if these kind of questions appear on the exam. Okay, let's see the last set of the paper. The given graph shows the total production of wheat and rice and the percentage of these food grains exported from 2016 to 20. Okay, so this is the percentage export, and production is domestic consumption plus export. So one on graph, one on table, production and export. Okay, so in which year was the total export of wheat and rice between 200 and 225? So 17, 18, 19, 20. So we need to find for these and see that in which year was the production between these, export between these numbers. Right now, one way to do it is, since the production is almost same, or we can take the average of it and find the values like this. So what I mean is, let us take roughly 200 and find this is 40 plus 20, 68. So in 2017 it is 136, slightly less than this. So let's take 250 as the average production, 77%. So 77% will be around 77 ka 1/4 if we take, which is less than 200 only. Okay, it will not be that high. Now this is 300, roughly we'll take 300, and this is 83%. So probably somewhere around, so this is how one can approximate the values. Okay, so roughly 300, and this is 83, 249 or 240 plus, definitely 225 से ज़्यादा होगा. And this, if we take 360 and 280, some central value, let us say 300 and 300, maybe we can take the approximate 320 and take 70% of it, right? 70% is 224. So roughly about this number. Now these two are less, this is high. Let's verify by for 2020. So 360 ka 30%, okay, and 280 ka 40%. So this is 108 and this is 112, which is 220. And we were very close. We found it approximately 224. So the answer is 2020. Okay. The total domestic consumption of rice in 2017 and 18 was what percentage more than the total exports of wheat in this? Okay, so again calculation, total domestic consumption in 2017 and 19. Rice is first of all orange one, okay, 17 and 19 where rice ka domestic consumption. Okay, 200 का and 300 का percentage निकालना है हमें. This is 28%, which is 56, and this is 48%, which is 144. So this value is 200. Okay, what percentage more than total export of wheat in 2016, 17 and 20? 16, 17 and 20. Yeah, 250 का 32% that is 80. Okay, 180 का 40% is 72 and 360 का 30% is 108. So ये तो एक्सपोर्ट ज्यादा दिख रहा है. 32% is 80, 16, 17 and 20. Sorry, what mistake I made is this is domestic consumption. So it will not be, this is 72% will be domestic consumption and this will be 2019 it will be 52%. Okay, so ये आएगा आपका 144 and ये आएगा आपका 156. So domestic consumption is 300 and this value is 180, 180 plus 80, 260. Okay, so 260 is the total export that we are getting. Okay, so this value is 260 and this is 300. 40 by 260, which is 2 by 13. 2 by 13 is 15.4. Like 1 by 13 is 7.7. 2 by 13 is 15.4 percentage. The domestic consumption of rice in 2019 is what percentage of the average production of wheat in these years? In domestic consumption in 2019 of rice. Domestic consumption of rice we did in previous question, which is 156, is what percentage of the average production of wheat in 2017, 18, 20? Wheat is the blue one, 17, 18 and 20. So this is 607. 600 plus 180, 780 divided by 3 is 260. So 50, this is 60%. 26 into 6 is 156. 60%. This was comparatively easy as compared to some of the questions. So it was about just going through the graph and deciding which one has doable questions. In 2021, the production of wheat increased over 2020 by the same percentage in 2020 over to 2019. Okay, so 2020, this is 8 by 9, 9 by 8 times into 9 by 8 will give us 405. So this will be 405 will be the production. And the export of wheat was 40%. Okay, export is 40% of 405, which is 162. The production of rice in 2021 increased by 20%. So rice increased by 20% into 1.2. This is 336. And its export was the same as in 2020. So export is same only. What was the difference between the domestic consumption of wheat and rice in 2021? So export is same. Export in this year was, rice का export was 40%. ठीक है, that is 112. So rice, if we talk about 336 is the production, okay, export and consumption. So export is 112, so that means consumption is 224 and the production of rice export was the same as in 2020. So this means 101, 224 will be the 224 will be the consumption. And difference between domestic consumption of wheat and rice in 2021. Wheat का consumption है, export is 40%, so we need to find 405 और इससे subtract कर लो, we will get 243. 243, 224, which is coming as 19. Domestic consumption, why is it there is a mistake? or maybe it means to say that the percentage was same. So let's check that also. So it should be like export was the same percentage, I guess, because the values are giving in. So if we take export as 40%, so consumption will be 60%. 336 into 6, we do 16, 1 carries 201.6, and this is 243. So 41.4 export was the same percentage it should be. Then it turns out to be 201.6, 60% consumption. So a calculation intensive question, because you had to calculate futuristic value in this particular question. Okay. So this was the solution to this paper, and I hope you loved the solution. You learned something new, especially especially in case of pie charts, how to solve questions, and what questions to attempt, which kind of questions to leave in the examination. So if you love my teaching techniques and are preparing for CAT 2024, you can enroll in our CAT 2024 batch, which has started a month back. Okay, in this we will be having live classes, topic wise practice sheets, doubt resolution sessions. Okay, and we'll also be providing full length mocks as well as sectional test. So this was the solution of the data interpretation section, and it was quite a challenging one with too many calculation intensive questions. And I discussed that which ones should have been attempted and the way to attempt questions in a smart way. I will also be uploading the solutions of the other sections also, especially quant also had very interesting questions. So keep a watch on my channel. Thank you for watching this video, and don't forget to like this video.